Okay, everybody, welcome to the Pearl and Above training. Anybody seeing this probably is Pearl or above already. However, there are some people that just went out, put their heads down, went to work, and did it without really knowing what they were doing. So just a real quick once over to show you what Pearl really means. Two ways to qualify. First way, you can put in 12 personal people. 12 people who signed up for a basic or above 100 CV or more. And the only caveat to that would be you'd need at least 9 on one side, 3 on the other. Of course, it could be 6 and 6 or 5 and 7 or whatever, but the smallest split you can have is 3 on one side, 9 on the other, okay? There's another way to hit Pearl as well. You can hit it by having 8 executives. And as you know, an executive is someone who sponsored, if this guy put 1 here, and he put 1 there, this guy would be an executive. So basically, if you sponsored 8 people who sponsored 2 people, you would also be a Pearl. So you can do it by helping others be able to become executive, or if you're just a sponsor monster and someone who's just really good at recruiting, you don't have to wait for anybody to do anything, which I think would be a mistake a little bit, but you could also just do it with sweat by basically putting in all the necessary people yourself. So 2 ways to qualify. We'll look at this way for now because it's the most basic structure that you need. The other cool thing about it, this is also the same structure for Sapphire. Sapphire must be this way, and there's only one way to qualify for that, and that is at least a 9-3 split. Again, it could be any variation. If you look at the language of the compensation plan, it says you need at least a minimum of 3 on either side. So this is the basic, the lowest common denominator, basically. The difference with Sapphire versus Pearl is all 12 of these people need to be executive. So not only are you a good recruiter, but you're also a good trainer or duplicator. You want all these people to get 2. And at that point, you'd be Sapphire, which is a pretty decent position. You'd be hard pressed. The average Sapphire makes anywhere from $1,500 to maybe $2,500 a month. So pretty decent position. I mean, obviously varying on volume, but as a basis point as to what you can expect at those levels. Now, right here, the other good news about being a Pearl is you also get matching bonuses. Maybe we'll get into that at a different point. But all that means is, as you guys know, a cycle, hopefully you know, is $35. All the matching bonuses are paid off of cycles. So when number 10 cycles, if he had someone here come in for $499, right? $499 package would be 300 CV, and he sponsored someone over here. We'll call him number 10X, right? Just to show that he's the person that put it here. And let's assume everyone's doing 300 CV, so, right? So those are maybe there from you, from going Sapphire. Number 10 woke up, he put 1 here. Number 10 put this person here. So he would have 300, 300, 300. So on number 10's right side, he would have 900 CV. On his left side, he would have 300 CV. And so what they would do is they take 300 from your smaller side, 600 from your bigger side. Sorry. And that would leave over 300. That would leave over 0. And that would pay out a bonus of $35 to number 10 in this example. Now here's where the matching bonuses come in. Let's assume a best case scenario, because that's what you should always be focused on. Your matches as a Sapphire, even as a Pearl, are always 20% for your personals. Here's what's really cool. You make 20%, 20%, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, not 20, not 20, because those belong to him or her. 20% of a cycle. Let's assume best case scenario, sorry, you're guaranteed 20 at that level. If you have 5 customers, it'll be 25%. If you have 10 customers, I know it's not that easy, but it's worth it. 10 customers will bump your personal matches to 30%. A match of 30% of a cycle is $10.50. Pretty major. So every time someone cycles that you've brought into the table, you can make $10.50. That's a pretty significant amount of money. Imagine a situation where you were Pearl and number 10 was Kevin Letmore, right? I've had days where I've cycled over 40 times. Let's just do some crazy math here. Oh, pull up Mr. Handy Calculator so I don't make a mistake on video. 40 times 35. $1,400. times 0.3. If you had just sponsored me and I was number 10, lucky number 10, and even if you didn't have the biggest organization, maybe you weren't cycling all that much yourself. However, I got lots of people on both sides going crazy, and I did 40 cycles in a day, which I've done. Your 30% match would be $420. So the matches are pretty significant. You definitely want to be a qualified person who's getting those matches. You definitely want to pick up the extra 10%. It makes a big, big, big difference. What else can I show you here? Oh, here's what else is cool. Back to this example. This is you. So as a Pearl, you can make 30% for yours. You make 20% for your second level. Okay? So that means all these people, all these 12 people written here, all the people that they sponsor, you make 20% of their cycles, which can be pretty significant as well. I made a little cheat sheet here. That's $7. So you're going to make the 1050 on my personal cycle. I'm number 10. Let's change number 10 to Miss Special K. Right? You're going to make 20% of everything that I make, 30% of everything I'm making, sorry. And you're going to make the 20, no, sorry, that's got to be wrong, isn't it? Sorry, you're going to make 15%. I knew that sounded a little rich. You're going to make $5.25 for all the second level people. So all the people these guys bring to the table. So you have 12 people here in this example that are personal to you. If they all brought 2 people, that would be 24 people that you make 15% on. Which equals 525, I think, for all their cycles. So for instance, I brought Shannon Nelson to the table. She's really close to Sapphire Elite and going for Ruby. So just she made 100 cycles, which is $3,500, right? Because you sponsored me and I sponsored Shannon. 3,500 times 0.15. You'd make an extra $525 in the last 2 weeks because I sponsored Shannon. And on top of that, you'd make, well, 420, a day, some days, not every day, that many cycles, a day because you sponsor me. So you can see how the matches become really significant. If you want to think about it, our upline, makes over, I'll just cut it and keep it somewhat realistic for you, makes over $300,000 a month. 300,000. Now, if you remember, the comp plan only pays you up to, how much is the cap on cycles? Weekly, it's like 26,000, right? 26.5, I think. Comes up to about 106 a month. So how can they be making 300,000 a month plus if the cap's at 100? It's because of the matching bonuses, once they ramp up, are going to be superior to any of the other parts of the compensation plan. If you have good lines of enrollment and if you have a pretty strong team. So between the diamond bonus is also some of it, but between the diamond bonus and the matching bonus, our uplines are making an extra 200,000 a month on top of the 100,000. So it's pretty incredible. What else did I want to show ya? That's pretty cool. That's enough. Let's take this away. Yeah, matching bonuses are good. Second level matches are even better, and third and fourth. And the matches, by the way, can go to 7 levels. As a Pearl, I think they go 2. Once you hit Sapphire, they go 3, which would be 30%, 15%, 10%, making an extra $35 a person for all the people that, for instance, I've enrolled, ironically enough, about 40 people. Let's say all those people enrolled 3, which is ridiculous because, once again, using from the top of my head, an example of Shannon has sponsored probably close to 40 herself, but let's just say everyone did 3. That's 120 people that are on my second line, which would be your third. You're going to make a 10% bonus, matching bonus, on about 120 people's checks. Even if they're all just cycling once a day or something, it's going to be a pretty incredible number. Let's erase all of this. Go back to what we had. Okay, so right now we also have a Shoot for Sapphire promotion. I'm going to deal with it primarily off the Pearl, because if you understand the Pearl a little bit smaller numbers, it's going to make it that much easier to understand the Sapphire, which is just the same thing on a bigger scale. Right now we have a promotion where you can get an extra 3,000 smackarolis. Okay, so if you want to get the $3,000, first you got to hit Pearl, then you have to have 6,000 CV. Okay, 6,000 CV to get it. You just can't hit Pearl and get $3,000, because if you think about this, if they all came in as a basic, would make you a Pearl. Well, there's 12 people there. That'd be 1,200 points. You can't bring 1,200 points to the company and they give you $3,000. Some very sneaky people could come in here who understand math and arbitrage, will invest $1,200 all day long to get a $3,000 bonus, all right? So they had to put a couple of rules in place to protect the integrity of the comp plan and the company, and that it's that you hit Pearl, point number one, that you also have 6,000 CV, point number two, which is more than generous because they gave us 2 months to do it. So they're counting your volume also from the month of December and all of January. And for those of you watching in Denmark or other parts of Europe, I think you guys are January and February, okay? So they're giving us 60 days to do 6,000 CV. They have one last cap to make sure that you don't come in, sponsor Mr. K here, who goes out and blows this out like more than that on a daily basis, and then they can't pay both of us. So what they say is, all right, you sponsored Mr. K, good job, but let's see if you can do a couple other little things. And those little things mean that you have to have 6,000 with no more than 30% from any one leg. And I believe that equals 1,800 CV. So not dollars. So your 6,000 CV. So you got Kevin here. Kevin goes in and puts in 50,000 points. You're making lots of money other ways. From Kevin, they're only going to count 1,800 CV, right? So that's going to leave you with, I think, about 4,200. That's easy math, but about 4,200 off the top of my head, other CV that you need to do. Just trying to make sure I'm exact here. Yeah, 4,200. So, all right, you sponsored Kevin. He did a good job. You hit Pearl. You did a good job. You need 6,000 points. You've got 50,000, because if Kevin's got 50,000, you've got 50,000. However, you need 6,000 with no more than 30% from any one leg. So from this leg, they're only going to count 1,800 of it. You need to find another 4,200 CV from the rest of your entire team. And let's say over here you have, I don't know, Kenny. Oh, that doesn't work. You got Joseph. Yeah, now you're in business. And Joseph goes out and does 30,000. Because there ain't no way he's out recruiting me. So Joseph goes out and does 30,000 CV, right? So, and he's also one of your personals. And it wouldn't have to be personals, actually, by the way, but they're going to count anything under him. Even if Joseph sponsored, you know, Malia, I'm getting confusing on you. All Joseph did was sponsor Malia, and Malia did 30,000. That counts for you, too. That's another leg. That's all they care about. It didn't come from Kevin. It came from somewhere else. So Joseph came in. He only knows one lady named Malia. He put her in. She's in Hawaii. She bangs out 30,000. Guess what? You can count how much of this 30,000. You count 1,800 of that as well, okay? So if we minus another 1,800, now you need 2,400 more, because Malia just did 1,800, Kevin did 1,800. So you take Malia out of there too, and all you have is 2,400 CV left that you have to find. In this example that we have here, let's just assume that this is pretty cool. Here's what you can do from this point on. If you had all these other 12 people basically, if number 11 did 200, number 12 did 200, this guy did 200. And when I say this guy, as you know, that means his entire team. he sponsored 4 people who each did 50 CV. That counts as 200, right? What they're trying to get away from is one person doing all of this for you. They want a balanced approach. They want to see that you're building an actual team and not lucky that you just got one big dog or one person who got a big dog or so on, right? As long as these are all separate legs or, legs basically, or organizations. So if these all did 200, in this arbitrary example, it is, well, we have 12 people, so we took Kevin and Joey out of it. So you'd actually have another 2,000 if they all did, just to ruin my example, you'd do another 2,000 in volume. All of it would count because they're not over 30%, right? You can only count 1,800 per leg. Hopefully this is not confusing. And you'd be 400 short of that bonus. Again, I know it's making it sound like a lot more work, but let's make it even easier. This person here, number 11, their whole team for 2 months did 1,000 points. They sponsored, their whole team consists of 3 people who came in for a Pearl package, which is $499, which is 300 CV. So 300 plus 300 plus 300, 900, and a basic. So in 8 weeks, they sponsored 4 people, 300, 300, 300, and 100. Bang, that guy knocks you out. So I did on a very low common denominator here of a whole bunch of people just doing a little bit, and 1 or 2 rock stars, and you're able to do it. Same thing works out for diamond. Let you guys look at this for a second. I think you got it. You could freeze the video and kind of work the math over backwards. Breathe. That's life. I'm an idiot. I know this, man. And I know there's some people in here. And by the way, some of you pearls, while you're in the middle of chasing this down, are going to hit Sapphire, which is a good thing, right? Never let the minimums be your maximum. Now that you hit Pearl, don't think it's so hard. Keep going for it while you're working on your stuff. What's that, man? Sapphire, it's $6,000, not 6,000 CV, but $15,000 CV. I know some of the Sapphires on our team have done this in less than 7 days. They're giving you 8 weeks. Again, that's I won't say unique, but some people, I'm watching the growth that they're experiencing and they're doing those kind of numbers. So again, back to the same example, I just think the difference this time is Kevin goes out. Remember we said he did 50,000 for the month or the 2 months, or his team did. It's back to that 30% rule. So I think that's about 4,500. So if you got a big horse, not too shabby. Count 4,500 from them. Let's go back to Joey and Malia, another 4,500, because in our example, I think we said she did 30,000. You have to count 4,500, and you got 9,000 of it there knocked out with 2 people. Actually, the ratio is the exact same. And you have a bunch of people that are just going executive. You know, this person brought someone at 100 CV, and that person brought, 300 CV and 100 CV. So now you have 500 just from this guy. Look how easy that just happened. Don't let these numbers scare you. You guys saw on Christmas Day, we had 37 orders. I don't even know what the volume was, but it was thousands and thousands of CV on Christmas Day. And so you can imagine what can happen. But this is pretty logical. Number 5 just brought in someone for a basic 100 points. They brought in someone for 300 and 100. Guys, this is in like 2 months that they gave you for this contest. So not very difficult. You understand it's just a different ratio because you're going for a different amount of volume. And that's pretty much that. The only last thing I'll tell you, really quick, gotta speed up this video. Oh, now he's speeding up. Hello. Is running. So I asked some of you to explain to me and give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means leave me alone, dude. My life's complicated enough. If I make money, I make money. And if I don't, I don't. All right. And 10 means whatever it takes. Whatever you say, I'm doing. I'm completely coachable. I want to run like you. Push me, push me, push me. Whatever you say, I'm going to do. If you're number 10, be careful what you ask for. But, I want you to check in with me every day. We've got like 2 weeks left for this contest, and it's totally doable. No matter what your number is, I promise you it's doable. Because we can break it into bite-sized pieces. So here's how this would look. This is you. Now, it's still a tree, but we're going to display it like this because that's really how you got to visualize it. You sponsored number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. What I'm going to ask you is, who are your 4 biggest legs? Even if this one's like 300, 400, 450, and 550, it's fine. Those are your biggest legs. You know what I mean? And the rest are all like 299. That's impossible, but whatever. Okay? I want to know what your 4 biggest legs are. Why? Because 30%, 30%, 30%, you need at least 4 people in order to qualify for this promotion. You guys got to be able to figure what you need at least 4, right? 30, 30, 30, and at least 10%. It could be any number. I shouldn't even have said it that way, but you need at least 4 different legs in order to qualify and meet the satisfaction of the things. Let's think of Pearl again. Let me just come up with some numbers. I don't even know if this is going to make sense. 2,000, 1,000, 4,000, and 3,000. I think this sucks. I think we just did it right. But, so you'd count 1,800, 1,800. You'd count the full 1,000. That would be 36, 46, 48. So then for the next 2 weeks, we'd have to go find, well, first of all, nothing from this team would count anymore, because in this example, the 30% would be 1,800. So that's capped. That's capped. That's capped. This would count, that would count. So what you want to do is grow these teams and start finding more people, and all CVs count. The best way that I look at, I don't want to depend upon anybody for my money ever. So you can beat these guys into submission and help them work towards their goals. Maybe they want to be Pearl, maybe they want to be Jade. So just help them sponsor, and the volume is going to work. What I'd like to do is I'm saying, man, I'm still, whatever the example is here, 2,000 short or something like that. I'm going to go out. I mean, this is the easiest way, right? And bring in 2 more people for 300 and 500 CV. There's another 800. And because they're new legs, all their volume counts completely. But this is what running consists of. So in this example, we'd say, hey, Kev, it's the 17th of the month. I'm at 36, 46. I'm at 4,800. How much do you need for the contest? We need 6,000. So somehow, some way, we got to find 1,200 CV in the next, let's call it 12 days. Because one of the little tricks I do, it doesn't really matter, but it gives you some points of reference. You basically need to average 100 CV per day. So if tomorrow you put in 50 CV, meaning you, your team, everybody collectively, outside of these guys, you know you're a little bit off the pace. You're going to have to make up some ground throughout. Now that's going to turn into about 110 CV for the next 11 days. Just gives you a basis, a barometer to measure by. Very, very important. I've had, in other companies, we've done this system of running. We figure out what we need. We figure out how many days. We know what the end goal is, right? Well, in this example, let's be consistent. I want to put the bigger number. Let's be consistent. We're talking Pearl here. You're trying to get $3,000. So you need to do 100 CV a day for the next 12 days to get $3,000. I mean, I could even usually, I'm such a nerd, that I would break that down even further because it makes it more fun. So $3,000 in 12 days, you're going to make $250 a day if you can get 100 CV a day. One more time. We've got 12 more days to make $3,000. We need 1,200 CV. So basically you make $250 a day if you can bring in 100 CV a day, right? It really helps you with your goal setting and stuff like that. So that's it. I'm going to keep this video right here, short and sweet. Too late, I know, but I just mean there's so much more I could add, but there's only so much you guys can digest. Ask questions, and I'll fill in the blanks. what I'm going to want you guys to do is, oh, by the way, there's a report in your back office. You go to reports, I guess, then distributor reports. When you pop up distributor reports, it's going to pull up a whole bunch. I think the bottom one is going to say shoot for Sapphire. It might say Americas, or it might say shoot for Sapphire Europe. You click on that and it's going to split all this for you. It's going to show you all your legs, how much volume in each. You don't have to figure out any of this. You just got to figure out the number it says you have total that's qualifying. So in this example, it would say you have 4,800, and it will show you where and why. And then you know that you have to get to 6,000, so you know it's the 1,200. So what I want to know, and if you guys want to really, really run, we can do it. Well, I'll take a poll. We can do it private, or we can do it. I'd really like to do it in the group so we can all watch each other and compete with each other in a nice way. If someone's way behind or whatever, we want to pick you up, help you, encourage you, and so on and so forth. Not like, you got to do 1,200. You only got one day left, sucker. You know, we're not going to be like that. You know, this is a leader group. That's why we made a private group for you guys. It's all about empowering. We want to see the ones that are race horses that are running really fast and knocking it out before time. And we want to see the ones that are maybe having a little bit more trouble for 2 reasons. We can see what goes wrong. We can help them. We can encourage them. That's more than 2 reasons, but so on and so forth. So we're all leaders here. We're all working together. Most of you are on the same team, even if you're not. But what I'd really like to see, if you guys are brave enough, and I think you guys are, I know most of you, go back and find your 4 biggest people and give me that number. And what we're going to do is every day we're going to update for the next 2 weeks. And I can look at your numbers and figure out where you're weak and if you're on pace and what's going on. And I promise you, no matter where you are, 6,000 BV in the next 2 weeks isn't difficult if you want it. Don't forget, it's $250 a day. So if you want $250 a day, fool, then you're going to do this deal. Peace.